Yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy Mood616 here, and yes, I'm back with part 21 of my DVD slash Blu-ray shelf by shelf collection series, which is now a 2017-18 edition series. So last episode we went through the original Anchor Bays. We're going to go to the middle part of Anchor Bay, which they didn't release a whole lot of stuff before it went full-blown Starz logo. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to skip over the... Well, we're going to do these Anchor Bays. We're going to skip over the Blue Undergrounds, and then we'll get into the 8 films to die for, just the rest of the shelf, and then we'll come back next video and do just the Blue Undergrounds. Just easier, kind of keep it a little bit more information with, you know, finishing off the Anchor Bays and stuff, but y'all get the point. Let's get into this shit, because these videos are long. Alien Apocalypse with Bruce Campbell. Oh yeah, and by the way, this is the logo that we're dealing with here. If you guys can see that. Hopefully that's focusing. Alien Apocalypse, yeah, sci-fi. Bruce Campbell film, it's ridiculous. It's kind of fun though. Yeah, Bruce Campbell did a lot of those goofy fucking movies. We got Black Christmas here with the Legacy series slipcover. That's what the artwork looks like underneath. One of my favorite movies. I have entirely way too many editions of this movie, but it's one of my favorites, so I don't give a shit. Breathing Room. This one, you know, in a sense, it's kind of a Saw ripoff. It's essentially these people that are kind of put into a like a warehouse, and then they have to obey the rules or face the consequences. So it's kind of like a survivor gets to win, or one survivor gets to leave kind of thing. Yeah, you know, I picked this one up used for a couple bucks, but it's okay. It has a decent premise that we've seen before, but I don't know. Execution was kind of clunky. Musical Massacre, a comedy. This one I had no idea about when I first picked it up. I picked it up basically based on the cast. Like, David Naughton, Brian O'Halloran's in this one, Ken Foree, Gunnar Hansen, among names. Man, this movie was funny as shit. I found myself laughing at this one so many times. It's just ridiculous. Look at that. It's so much fun. Give it a shot. Brutal Massacre comedy. The Cook. It's basically what you think it is. He's the cook. They're the dinner. Yes, it's kind of like a cannibal film. Comedy. It's okay. Demons with the Legacy series slipcover. With the original cover right there. Yeah, classic stuff from Lamberto Bava. Demons 2, of course, with the slip. And then there's the original. Yeah, Demons 2. Set in the apartment building. Man, I love the Demons films so much. I mean, anybody that follows my channel knows how much I love Lamberto Bava's films. But those are classics. Next up here, Dead End Drive-In, cut and run double feature. Dead End Drive-In's like one of my favorite Aussie flicks of all time. I've seen it so many times. I love the premise. It's got so much, you know, subtext to it and stuff. It's just, I love Dead End Drive-In. The soundtrack's phenomenal. A lot of people don't really care for it, which is understandable. I think they might be looking for something different, but it's just amazing to me. And Ruggero Deodato's Cut and Run, which I actually got the Blu-ray in yesterday from Code Red. Have not checked out the transfer, but super excited to finally get a solo edition of the film, because I love Cut and Run. And if you guys watch my videos, I use the theme song actually from Cut and Run in my intro. That's where it comes from, if you're wondering. But yeah, so anyways, that's pretty cool. Next up here is End of the Line, Canadian cult film, kind of set in like a subway type thing with alien monster. It's this movie's awesome. I love End of the Line. Super underrated. I know some people talk about it. I've talked about this many times in Top 10 Tuesday videos and shit, but I highly recommend giving this one a spin. It's really good. It's one I picked up not knowing anything about when it first came out back in the day, and was not disappointed. It was worth the money. Oh, next up here, Five Across the Eyes. Now, this is the reason, in my opinion, why people can't stand found footage films. Because this one right here is the most nauseating film probably ever done. It is literally like this. Like, you're watching the movie, like, that got old quick, didn't it? Well, just imagine 90 minutes. 94 minutes to be exact. This one is brutal. It's just about a bunch of girls that are heading home from a football game, I believe, and they start getting terrorized after they take a wrong turn by some assailants and shit. And it's so brutal. It's just man, screaming and yelling. Oh my god. Yeah. So If you're not into that type of shaky cam work, stay clear. The Girl Next Door. Jack Ketchum's Girl Next Door. Yeah, I still think this is one of the most disturbing films I've ever seen. I mean, I've seen gorier films. I've seen probably more taboo stuff, but this one really hits home because of the setting of it. You know, kind of based on a true story and stuff. I really do need to read the book because I heard the book's a little more graphic and vicious, but just the whole storyline of this just makes me sick, man. It's fucked up, but Girl Next Door, it's a great movie. Hatchet, Adam Green's Hatchet, we all know the film. Great stuff. Also have it on Blu-ray. Jack Brooks, Monster Slayer, yes. Robert Englund. Man, this movie, when I first watched this film, I was not a big fan of it. I might have watched it in a bad mood or something because I rewatched this one and man, this thing made me laugh. It's pretty funny. It's goofy and stupid, and I'm surprised there wasn't more like sequels to this shit. Unless there is a sequel, I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm really surprised that they didn't make a franchise out of this. It's kind of fun. Jack Ketchum's The Lost. This is another really good one, man. I'd like to read the book on this one too, but pretty cool story, kind of vicious stuff. Actually even says a vicious, abrasive film. There you go. Very cool stuff. If you're familiar with Jack Ketchum, he writes some pretty realistic stuff, man. The Man with the Screaming Brain, more Bruce Campbell goofiness, and that's exactly what it is. The Man with the Screaming Brain. I can't take Bruce Campbell serious, man. I think that's the point you're not supposed to. Night Riders here with Ed Harris, Tom Savini, directed by George A. Romero. This is still a seal copy. I've seen this film a couple times. I just never opened up this one for whatever reason. But George Romero did this film because he didn't want to get kind of pigeonholed as a horror director. And he went out of his way and did like this kind of biker film with Ed Harris, Tom Savini. Which is pretty cool. It's more of an epic, though. Like, it's long, man. This thing is like, what is it, 145 minutes. It's crazy. This is now on Blu-ray, I think, from Shout Factory, I think, put it out. Which I do not have, but Night Riders. I like this film. It's good stuff. Maybe I'll buy the Blu-ray and... That's just stupid. This thing's still sealed. This is dumb. Phantasm Oblivion. Phantasm 4. You know what, man? This one gets shit on a lot, but I actually really enjoy this film. The first time I watched this movie, when it first came out, I was so dumbfounded and confused on all the footage of Mikey. I'm like, where the fuck? How did they do that and shit? You know, being naive, I didn't realize that Coscarelli had shot so much extra footage for the first film, and ultimately ended up using a lot of that footage that he didn't use for the first film for part 4 to make this film. I think that was brilliant. I mean, I don't think that was ever planned to do that because it was obviously budget constraints and why he used all the old footage and stuff, but I think it adds this elements of super coolness to it. But, you know, the Phantasm franchise is one of my favorites. Part 5, I actually don't mind it. I know a lot of people really can't stand it and stuff. You know, it is kind of a shame it wasn't directed by Coscarelli, but he did have a part in it. But still, it's fantastic. Fantastic franchise. Phenomena, yes, with my girl Jennifer Connelly. Yeah, got lots of editions of this film too, man. I love Phenomena. It's so great. Donald Pleasance. Yeah, man, can't go wrong with that shit right there. Good stuff. Some Argento. Scarce. This is like a really low-budget cannibal film, kind of set in the winter cold. I think there's... Oh, I'm jerking off again. I'm jerking off. Here we go with some found footage stuff there. Scarce. Very, very low budget, man. Don't mind this film. It's actually not too bad. It's all right. All right. We got some Tenebrae here. Some more Argento. I always like that cover right there, man. It's fucking awesome. Another film that I have multiple editions of, but... It is Argento, man. You gotta have them, right? So we all know. Love Tenebrae. One of my favorite Argentos, actually. And we got WrestleManiac. Man, I bought this movie based on the title alone. I was like, that is ridiculous. WrestleManiac with Rey Mysterio. Isn't that funny? It's pretty much what you get, man. It's a killer wrestler. Yeah, so... But that is going to do it for the middle part of Anchor Bay releases back in the day. That's where the Blue Undergrounds will start. So let's switch over to the rest of the shelf here. Yeah. All right, so getting into the second half of this video here. Like I said, we're skipping over the Blue Underground. I actually have a few more Blue Underground Blu-rays that I have downstairs to throw into the collection here. But I will do that after I do my Monster update that's coming. So, because I haven't done one in like 3 months. So, but anyways, these are in order of seasons. So, you know, 8 Films to Die For, season 1, 2, 3, 4. And then when they switch to After Dark Originals, and we'll get into some Fangoria stuff. So, firstly, I'm not sure if this is the order that they actually came out in. I may have done it like this. It seems like it might have. I'm not sure. But first up here from season 1, Crazy 8 with Tracy Lords. Yes, the beautiful Tracy Lords. I don't really remember this film that much. I remember not really caring about it too much, though. I think it's about a group of friends that come together for a funeral, and then they get led on like a treasure hunt or something like that. I can't remember. But I just remember this one being super bland and predictable and kind of boring, actually. So it was not a good start to the 8 Films to Die For. Borderland, I thought this one was actually pretty cool. I had to rewatch this film. The first time I watched it, I didn't really care for it a whole lot. But I came around on this one, man. It's I think it's about a cult that's kind of harvesting humans and shit like that. It was actually based on a true story. I think on the Mexican border or something like that. Yeah, Texas. Yeah, Mexican border town. Yeah. So, yeah, this is pretty interesting. Thought it was actually kind of cool. Then we got Late Dead. This is another one I thought was, you know, decent. You know, definitely above average and stuff. Yeah, here's a synopsis on it. Thought I had some pretty creepy moments. Not one of the better ones from season 1. But, yeah, it's kind of one of those things where, you know, family comes together and then the family's not exactly, or they're doing some crazy shit, so. Then we got Tooth and Nail. This is a post-apocalyptic cannibal film. So, people are trying to survive in this post-apocalyptic world. And, yeah, and they're trying to survive from the savage band of cannibals known as rovers. Yeah, I like this film. I thought it was fun. I'm a big fucking fan of post-apocalyptic films and cannibal films, so that goes together like white on rice. The Deaths of Ian Stone. This one I really enjoyed, man. I thought this movie was super damn cool, man. It's kind of confusing. I think this is one that you might have to watch a couple times. But the premise of this is very, very interesting. Very interesting. Very ambitious for, you know, this type of indie type film. There's a synopsis. If it sounds interesting, check it out if you have not already. But good stuff, man. I highly recommend that one. Unearthed. This is a creature feature film. Yeah, vicious creature has been trapped for over 900 years, gets unearthed during an archaeological stake. Holy fuck, I can't talk. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is, and they got to fight for their survival. So it was okay. Not one of the greater ones or better ones in the season, but here is one. Ooh, you can see me in there. Mulberry Street. This is a interesting take on the zombies genre. It's basically humans catching this rat virus. This virus that's being spread by rats. It's turning these people into like zombie rats and shit, or rat zombies, however you want to put it. Fucking awesome. I really enjoyed the shit out of this one, man. I thought it was great. Set in a kind of this apartment complex thing and shit. It's fucking cool, man. Mulberry Street. I liked it. One of my favorite ones of the first season was Nightmare Man. I love this movie. It's got a great twist in it. It's very psychological. Yeah, it has things going on in it that I was not expecting when I first watched this, and I was like, damn. Plus, it's got my homegirl Tiffany Shepis in it. She is my favorite baby in the world. Oh, I love her so much. Wow, okay. Boner alert. Yeah, Nightmare Man. Fucking good stuff, man. I know a lot of people didn't like this one. I don't know why, but it's good. I enjoyed the shit out of it, man. Frontiers. Of course, we all know this one. One of the big Fab Five French films. Gore-tastic. Kind of a homage a little bit to like Chainsaw and those type of films, but bloody as all fucking hell, man. This one's crazy. This one actually got banned from the original, from season 1, I believe. Because if you note, I think there was 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so this was the 9th one from season 1. They had to bring in another film because they didn't want to show this or some shit. I can't remember the whole story with it, but that's why there's actually 9 films in the 8 Films to Die For season 1. released. But I'm glad that Frontiers got a release because it's fantastic. Yeah, so check that one out. It is French, so you are going to have to read it. But yeah. So that was the end of season 1. 8 films to die for. Pretty cool stuff. Like I said, I'm not sure if those are in order, but... season 2, Reincarnation. It is exactly what the title says. I believe this one takes place on a movie set. Yeah, from the director of The Grudge and Ju-on films. Yes, that's right. There's the premise of it. Asian film. It's very, very typical Asian stuff. I didn't mind this one. It's kind of predictable, though, from what I remember, but yeah. Penny Dreadful. I really like films that have these type of settings, these isolated, contained horror films. Basically about a mother and daughter. They get trapped in this car, and this madman is, fucking with them. This one had a lot of potential. I think it kind of failed on execution a tad bit, but man, it does have really good atmosphere and a lot of good suspense in it and shit like that. But I think in the end, it's kind of a tiny bit of a fail, a little bit predictable, but yeah, it's okay. We got The Abandoned, directed by Nacho Cerda? Yeah, that's who did this one. Yeah, we all know him. Yeah, it's a ghostly, pretty much. Not a bad film, actually. I think I like this one more than some people, but it was okay for what it was. It's pretty atmospheric. It's kind of a real slow burn, though. Unrest. Yeah, this one is set in a hospital, kind of a ghostly type thing. Love the setting of this film. It's got some pretty interesting moments. It's very Asian influenced. Yeah. A thoughtful and spooky little movie that stands apart from the formulas that bind so many horror films. I wouldn't say I go as far as saying that, because I think this one is very formulaic, but I don't know. You be the judge. Check it out. The Hamiltons. Very, very cool take on vampirism, about a family that is forced to survive, in this world. And they're a little bit different. It's cool, man. I like The Hamilton. I have never seen a sequel. I've never seen a sequel to that film. Wicked Little Things. This is a fucking creepy little gem. This one takes place like kind of in a woods area, with these kind of ghostly kids and shit. They were all killed in like this mining accident and stuff, and this family moves into they move into a remote home, and then shit starts going down. This is some creepy atmospheric shit, man. If you like these films, check it out, man. I really enjoyed that one. I thought that was excellent. Dark Ride, another one that gets a lot of mixed opinions, but I personally really enjoyed the shit out of this one, man. Set in a carnival, it's a slasher film. I mean, really. I mean, it actually has that carnival feel to it also, which is really nice, because I find with a lot of these films, they set them in these locations and they're so low budget that they don't have either the set pieces or, they just don't show the carnivals enough, man. But in this one, I think they do, from what I remember, but pretty interesting. I thought it was a cool film. And the last one from season 2 here is The Grave Dancers, a big homage to like 80s ghostlies, and the effects in this are super 80s. It's awesome. I think these friends come together after their friend dies for a funeral. That's right, they get all shit-faced and they start dancing on graves. And then the ghosts come back for revenge. The effects are just phenomenal in this really, really great film. If you haven't seen The Grave Dancers, check it out. It's fun as hell. So that's the end of season 2 right there. Into season 3, which I actually have this whole box set here, so these might be a little bit harder to get out. Because I should have planned that before and just taken them out. We have The Broken from season 3. And in my opinion, man, season 3 is the weakest out of the 4. Which I actually have like the nicest additions. I have all the lenticulars and stuff. The Broken, it was okay. And none of these movies are like horrible, but but yeah, I mean, this is the type of shit you got in season 3. Man, The Butterfly Effect 3, which is, more or less like the other ones. The other 2, I actually do like the original Butterfly Effect. That was pretty good, but yeah, I think this one right here was kind of a standout one for me. Dying Breed. This was a Aussie cannibal film. Yes. Cool shit, man. I like the setting of this, man. I thought it was fantastic. Oh, where's the... Oh, there's the guy. Oh, where'd you go? Dying Breed. I thought it was pretty good. From Within. Where's the dude again there? Yeah. From Within. Yeah, this is another one that, you know, just... It's very, very average. I can't even remember... What is this one even about again? Here, let's take a look at this. Oh yeah, the suicides. And then she starts to investigate because there's something very, very fishy with all these local suicides and shit. And it's like a ghostly type thing. It's okay. Again, you know, just very kind of average. Autopsy, man. This one has my girl Jessica Landis in it. Set in a hospital. This is a fucking good one. I think this is probably the best film out of season 3. Pretty cool stuff, man. They end up going to this hospital and not really getting out of there because there's some sadistic and weird shit going on in there. Autopsy, pretty cool stuff. This is another one that I thought was really cool, actually. It was Perkins 14, basically about this guy. I think that gets out of jail, and he seems to be like a suspect of this rash of murders that happened like 15 years ago or something like that. And now this cop's out to get him and shit. But there's more to it than that. I love the font that they use for Perkins 14. It's great. This was another really cool one. This was actually a really big disappointment for me. I was expecting to really like this one, but Slaughter, it's about this girl that's trying to get away from her life, and she moves in with her friend like out on this farm, and her family's not just slaughtering animals, they're doing something else out there. It's kind of one of those films, no, you know, just gotta fight for her life and shit, but yeah, you know, it's okay. It's entertaining, but it's not like that great of a film. Oh, I did get it out. And we got Voices. This is a Asian kind of ghostly, I believe. Yeah, I think this is what it is. Yeah. So, yeah, the third season's not that memorable, guys. It really isn't, man. The ones I would fully recommend in there are Autopsy, Perkins 14, and Dying Breed. Those ones are like, you know, the 3 best ones for sure. So that is season 3. On to season 4, which I have the Canadian edition of this. I don't actually have the 8 films. I should just grab it one day. But Clive Barker's Dread, about these college students, and it's basically a film about fears. Whose dread runs the deeps in the psychological thriller. This has a really cool premise, man. Really, really cool premise. It's kind of scary, actually. Put yourself into the situation. Yeah, highly recommend Dread. Good stuff from Clive Barker. Cool, very cool story. Kill Theory, man. This is another one that I really enjoyed. Thought this was a big surprise because, you know, the synopsis on it doesn't sound overly that great. It's kind of like one of those Deadly Game things where, you know, you're forced to kill each other by 6 a.m. in the morning, and, you know, the survivor gets to live. It's got some cool twists and turns in here, man. It comes together nice. Kill Theory. Pretty fun stuff. Got some good kills. The Reeds, about a group of people that I think they go on this boating trip. An accident happens, and then some crazy shit goes down after that. Yeah, they start getting terrorized by a bunch of people and shit. This one was okay. It's got really good atmosphere to it. Entertaining. It's entertaining. The Final. I remember this one because I'm surprised there isn't more film. I mean, I think there is more films like this, but basically about a girl that is getting revenge against the kids that, you know, that tortured her and bullied her in high school and stuff. She brings them together, I think years after graduation, and takes them out. And takes them out, man. Yeah, it's alright. The Final. Zombies of Mass Destruction. It's the best of its type since Shaun of the Dead. One of my favorite quotes ever. Not. Yeah, I hate this movie. Zombies of Mass Destruction is fucking terrible. I really, really hate it. This is one of the only, I guess, you know, 8 films to die for that I actually hated. I fucking hated this thing. Very political comedy Oh, I hated it. Lake Mungo. This is a fantastic mockumentary about a girl that dies while swimming. They recover her body, and then, you know, it kind of goes through like a series of interviews and things like that. And it's fantastic. It's so well done. And I mean, it really does make you believe that this was a true story. It's good stuff, man. If you're into that type of thing, check out Lake Mungo. Great, great stuff. Then we got The Graves. Yeah, The Graves, you know, it was, this one should have been a lot better, man. I mean, we got Tony Todd, we got Bill Moseley in it, which, you know, they're actually not in the film a whole lot right there, but there's the premise of it. You know, you guys be the judge, but this one kind of fell flat for me too. And then we got The Hidden. Yeah, it's another one of these films. Check out the synopsis. This is another one that fell super, super flat for me too. Not a big fan of it. But yeah, that's going to do it for the 8 films to die for series. The original ones, 1 to 4. That's all the films that was involved in the 1 to 4. And yeah. Alright, so getting into the After Dark originals. This is kind of like the spin-off from 8 Films to Die For. They came out with a couple more seasons. I think a couple years after the 8 Films to Die For, it stopped. I do have all the ones from season 1. I only have half the ones from the second season because I kind of lost interest. I mean, they were okay and stuff, but it was the prices on them. They were just really expensive, so I was like, fuck it. They were like charging import prices for them and shit. But After Dark originals, these are not in the order that they came out. I don't believe. But Husk, killer scarecrow film. This is awesome. This one's shocked the shit out of me because most killer scarecrow films are quite shitty. This was really well done. Yeah, so if you're into scarecrow films, check out Husk, man. That was really good. Fertile Ground. I wasn't really the biggest fan of this one either. Yeah, it's another one of these type of films, man. You know, these supernatural, ghostly, yeah, folklore type things. Yeah, it wasn't terrible, but Seconds Apart, Twin Killer Brothers. I think the ending was a little bit rough for me on this one. I didn't mind the film, but I think the ending was kind of the failure for me on this one. But it was actually not bad. Screamy the Banshee. I believe this is dealing with Irish folklore. Screamy the Banshee. And I mean, we know the Screamy the Banshee story. But yeah, which again. Was okay, wasn't terrible. The Task, I think this is was this a reality show one? Yes, it is the reality show. This one, I for some odd reason, I can't quite remember if I liked this one or not. I think I didn't, though. I think this one was shitty. In a carefully prepared environment, malevolent forces. Okay. Yeah, I think this one sucked. This is another one that was a little bit frustrating too. Area 50 or 51 kind of takes place in like Area 51, but yeah, it wasn't that great. And then we got Prowl. This one I actually didn't really mind. This one wasn't too bad. There's the breakdown for it right there. This one. I think I did a review on this way back in either on Body. I think I did one on Body Bags. I'm not 100% sure, but actually not too bad. This one was kind of surprising. And then Children of Sorrow, which is like one of those cult type films. This one sucked. I reviewed this one too. This one really sucked. I wasn't very happy with this After Dark Originals first season, so I think that's why I kind of lost interest for the second season too. I thought the quality of the films had dipped quite a lot, and I generally like these cult films where someone's trying to trying to find his sister and stuff. This one is just the way it goes is so predictable. It's so damn predictable. I was super frustrated with that. I don't understand why they changed the spine on that one too. All these other ones look the same in this one. That's irritating. So the second season I only have 4 of the 8. Mischief Night, which I absolutely love. This one's obviously set on Mischief Night, kind of like a home invasion type film with a twist. Malcolm McDowell, I love Mischief Night, man. This one's really good. Really good stuff. Check it out. Red Clover with Billy Zane. Yeah, and you kind of know what you're getting yourself into with this one. I remember kind of liking this film, but kind of hating it at the same time. I don't want to give anything away, but Red Clover. Yeah. Then we got Ritual. This was another fucking terrible one that again, this is pretty much why I lost all my faith in this, because I think the ones I didn't pick up I heard that were shitty too, so yeah, it's this fucking satanic cult bullshit. It's kind of shitty. And Dark Circles, which I can't quite remember this one, but I remember this one being just average. It wasn't horrible, but yeah, Dark Circles. So that's going to do it for the After Dark original series. Get into the Fangoria Fright Fest. They put out 8 films in this Fright Fest. First up is Dark House. Jeffrey Combs. This is kind of like a Fright House type thing where they would project like these ghosts to scare people and shit. Yeah, this revolutionary holographic system allows monstrous creations to be projected in an infinite number of scenarios. It's honestly, it's super cheesy. The effects are super cheesy in this, and it just comes across as being like laughable. But at the core, it's kind of fun though. Jeffrey Combs is hilarious in the film. I think he does a pretty good job. Fragile with Calista Flockhart. Yeah, it's a ghost story. I did not care for this one whatsoever. I thought this one was trash. I can't stand her as an actress too, man. Ugh, she sucks. The Haunting. That's pretty much what it is. Yeah, there's this kind of run-of-the-mill stuff here, man. You know. Yeah, there's the synopsis. I did not care for this one whatsoever either. Then we got Hunger. This was kind of an interesting film. Cannibal film. Here we go. They soon realize that they are the subjects of one man's sadistic experiment to test the depths of human beings' will to survive. Yeah, so it's basically a bunch of people are put into this scenario, and then they gotta figure out how to live. So it turns into kind of a cannibal film, as you would expect. Grim Love, man, I love this story, the real true story behind this. This is kind of a fictitious tale of someone investigating and trying to, you know, it's just a fictitious tale of that interpretation of the story, but with Kerry Russell, which I fucking hate her too. If you guys don't know the story behind this, it's basically about this dude that put this ad on the internet for somebody. He was asking for someone willing to give themselves up to him so he could eat them. Yeah, that's actually a true story. And some dude accepted it. And this guy, like, ends up giving himself to this guy to eat and shit. And it's just fucked. What a crazy story that is. But, you know, the film itself is okay. I think there's another film based on this too. It's slipping my mind right now. I'm sure I'll remember after I'm done this video. But, yeah, German cannibal, Oliver Hartwin. Yeah, the story behind it's pretty interesting, but we got Pig Hunt, and this is pretty much a killer boar film. It's a giant killer boar film. Fun as hell, man. This is a really fun film. I enjoyed the shit out of that one. Then we got Roadkill. This is a killer truck film. Kind of a little bit different. I think there's some shit that's going on in the back of it that's kind of interesting and stuff. But yeah, we got some road horror here, which, you know, is never a bad thing. And then we have The Tomb, which, oh, this movie fucking blows. But you know it's going to blow dicks because it's got Eric Roberts and Michael Madsen in it. This movie sucks. So that was the 8 films, the Fangoria Fright Fest 8 films that they put out. Get into the 5 Fangoria films that they put out a few years ago. Fangoria Presents. Inhuman Resources, which was number 1. I always thought these were pretty cool, how they did these. It's too bad these didn't sell more, so they could have done more, but I can see why they didn't. But yeah, Inhuman Resources, you know, like a killer office film. This is really good. This is the best of the 5, by far. But yeah, 6 captive office workers. Yeah. It's good, man. It's good. That simple premise, but it's actually really fucking entertaining. Then we go to Axed, which is just fucking horrible, about this dude that I think his father gets fired from his job and goes ape shit. And it's just not good. It's not good at all, man. It's fucking terrible. Terrible. We actually reviewed all these films on the podcast. Remember, it was Jeremy's idea. He's like, hey, let's do those Fangoria Presents films, you know, as like a mini kind of franchise thing. Yeah, thank you for that. Sin Reaper, this was fucking terrible too. Oh, dude, the storyline in this one was just... the story's not bad. The execution was horrible. Fuck that film. Then we got Germ Z, which I really enjoy. Actually, this one I thought had a great premise for a, you know, infection film. I believe that's what it is. It's not a zombie. I think it's like straight up infection. But I thought it was fun as shit, man. Fun. And then the worst one of them all. They get worse than Axed. Entity. This is actually in our Hall of Pain on our podcast. This is fucking terrible. I think Axed is also. I think it is. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, found footage, ghostly. Oh, man, this movie is an abomination. It's so bad. It's so bad. So that was it for those, and then we got a few, like, Fangoria, Gore Zone films and stuff. Skin Deep, which we just actually did an episode on. This was a Patreon pick, and Skin Deep is so bad. I find it entertaining. It's a terrible, terrible movie. JP and Jeremy, they fucking hate it with a passion on all levels. They didn't find any entertainment value out of it, which doesn't really surprise me because they don't like shitty films. In which I do. Skin Deep, it has its moments. I mean, the best thing about this film is plates. I mean, Warwick Davis, his name is Plates in it, and he just throws plates. This movie has so many nonsensical things happening in it, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense. But it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. Check it out at your own will. It's actually in our Hall of Shame. That's how low rated it is. Or in our Hall of Pain. What the fuck am I talking about? Dead Meat. This is a pretty cool film, man, to be honest. I think I did a review of this on, was it last 31 Days of Horror, or was it the one before? I'm not sure. But yeah, mutated strain of mad cow disease infects the countryside, turning people into ravenous flesh-eating zombies. Cool, man. For a low-budget film, it's got super good gore. It's fun. I recommend that one. And then The Last Horror Movie. I really enjoy the shit out of this one too, man. If you've never seen The Last Horror Movie, give it a shot. Here's the synopsis. Yeah, so check it out if that sounds like an interest to you. But yeah, I highly recommend that movie. Man, my nose is itchy as fuck right now. And I gotta get myself another copy of this film, man. Paul Naschy's Rojo Sangre. Yeah, look at my cover. I fucking spilt. I'm pretty sure the day I got this, I spilt a beer on it and didn't or someone spilt I can't remember the story. I think we were at my house drinking and playing vids and shit, and this one got something spilt on it, but it like destroyed the whole fucking thing, man. It's crazy. Like all the moisture and shit got like on the inside. It's fucked. As you can see, it's just crazy. This is a cool film though, man. This is actually really good shit. Later Paul Naschy stuff, which you can never go wrong with, but that just, I can't even look at that. It looks terrible. And then last up for this shelf here is Slashers, the game show slasher film, where you got to go through and beat all these slashers. It's kind of like The Running Man, straight up horror style in a sense, I guess. Yeah. Japan's hottest reality show is cutting Americans' actions, first USA special. Yep. So that's what you got to do. Got to beat the killers, man. So that is going to do it for this episode here. Once again, I will be coming back with the Blue Underground. So stay tuned for that. So I should have that one up in a couple days after this one airs. As usual, guys. Peace.